Cody step here. What we're going to be looking at inside this clip is exactly how Sam can take your specific writing style and enhance every single piece of content so it sounds like you and is written specifically for the person who's going to be receiving it.
This is something that I'm going back into the section that Cody had originally created. There were some things that I was wanting to do, and it's just like, this one is easy. Whenever you go into Sam was originally designed to help you guys create content. And a lot of it goes back to my training, the frameworks that I've trained on for the past several years about core, your core business strategies, conversions, operations, retention, and experience. So anything dealing with lead generation or conversion of those leads is in the conversion side. The operations is anything that you're doing your business wise. That's your listings, your marketing pieces for listings, your transactional stuff. Retention is for past clients. How do you retain those clients? And then the experience is kind of wrapping all of these together, and there's some events and stuff like that. Well, whenever you go to create content in here, it kind of helps you step through. If you're not a big ChatGPT knowledgeable person, and you just go in there and say, I want a lead magnet, in ChatGPT, there's no telling what it would give you. You have to be specific. So Cody originally came in here and said, well, let's make it easy on them to create content, but do it through kind of a menu process. And I love this, where, what do you want to create? Well, maybe I want to create a lead magnet. And then what type of lead magnet would you want to create? Is it a checklist? Is it frequently asked questions? Whatever. So you can come in here and create or select what you want to create. So maybe I want to do a frequently asked questions. And I'm going to change this to Cody because he's got first-time home buyers in here. It does, because I'm writing it from Cody's, it uses that member voice, those elements that make up the way he communicates. These are all the different things that he has checked in his member area. You can write it differently. Maybe you want to, overwrite this and you want to change it to something different, but you can. But it puts in what's already saved in there. And then we had a place in here for the objective. So you'd come in here, and it, based off of creating a lead magnet, based off of being a frequently asked questions piece, it would create a very basic objective as kind of a hint for what you really need. So then you could come in here and then you can type in exactly what you want to create. The problem is people aren't always creative. And that's really been the whole deal of this is, let AI do the creative part. So what I've done is over here on the right-hand side, I've added this let Sam enhance, the objective. So whatever you've got in here as a very basic objective, you can now click on that and it will expand that out to be more what AI would want to see. So develop an informative and engaging lead magnet in the form of a comprehensive frequently asked question guide tailored to first-time home buyers, and then in an age bracket, guide through the ad, it goes through the entire piece. And this is what we would typically want you to type in. But like I said, people aren't always creative and they don't always know what they want. But now AI can do it for you. So we now have that button to allow you to do that. Then one of the things, and this has already been there, but whenever you click on begin, it takes this information and it takes it to the next step that many coaches for AI say you ought to do. And inside of ChatGPT, you can go in there and say, before creating any content, ask me some questions that would help you understand more about what I would want. And then you would have to go in there, ChatGPT would bring up some questions, and then you have to say 1, this, 2, that, 3, that, and go through the list. And it's just, it's a nuisance kind of to have to do it. What Cody did was he said, well, let's break this up into separate questions, fill them in, but not only let the user fill them in, but let's go ahead and give them probably the answer that they want. What is the answer to this particular question? How would you want to use this? What's the structure of it? Some more details about what needs to be created. It fills it in with what is probably the likely answer, but if you want something different, you can make it different. You answer those questions and then click on continue, and then it takes the initial objective, the bigger, longer objective. It takes each of the different questions and answers in this and starts building out that frequently asked questions piece as a lead magnet that you can then copy and paste into Canva or Google Docs and pretty it up and do whatever you want. But so now it has taken all that information and built out a piece that you can then utilize for whatever. So this has already been there. This is the functionality that's already been there. But we've added those extra features to let AI automatically fill in the objective for you to make it even more realistic on what an LLM actually needs whenever it's doing stuff. So from here, I can save this. It'll save it. If I want to copy it, I can copy the text body on this. I could then go into Google Docs, and then I can just come here and say Control V, and then it pastes it in. I can then pretty it up. I can do other things with it that I want to do. Or if I put it into Canva, let Canva organize it into certain ways. So all of this can be done very, very easily. Now, one thing that you may want to do, you can come into Gamma, gamma.app. You can set up a free account. With Gamma, there are paid versions of this, which gives you more features and functionality. But one thing that you can do is come in here and say, I want to create something new. I want to paste in text. And what I want to do then is take that content that I just pasted in, put it in here like this. I want to generate from notes or an outline, which is what this is. And say produce. So it takes that generated content that I've done, and then it puts it into a list here of things that we can do. I can say card by card, and then actually this is split for me. Yeah, so it'll go through and it'll use AI to split this up into separate cards of information. And then maybe I want some, make it somewhat detailed. It will use the context of this to write this for me in whatever friendly, whatever. I can choose what style presentation I want. I can have it use AI generated images. And then if I want them photorealistic or abstract or 3D, different types of photos, or I can go in there and describe what kind of photos. I want to choose photorealistic, any other words or whatever. It will do up to 10 for free. So in this case, I'm only doing 8 or 6 different cards, and I can choose generate. Now, what it does then is it takes the information that's in here. It uses AI then to build out a slide presentation or content of some sort. So welcome to your first time home buyer, frequently asked guides. Here's information on it. And it starts making a very pretty looking presentation quality piece using AI to generate placement of things, generate images. Here it's creating a kind of a path of things, some common pitfalls. it's taking all of that context that we created and puts it in here. Once it's done, then you can go in there, you can manipulate the images, you can tell it, I want to change images, I want to do different stuff. But this now is amazing, right? We can do all of this, creating each of these items. Next step, contact us. Here's, you know, the information on how you're going to get to us and the information. There's Cody's information, contact information, all that kind of stuff is on there. So now I've got this great looking presentation. I can take that and use it in a meeting, you know, some kind of first time home buyers event of some sort, or I can come up here to the ... and say I want to export it, and I want to export this to a PDF. So then it takes that information and it starts building out a PDF, and boom, there that is. Here I've got my entire presentation of everything that I just created in a very readable, very organized, very pretty presentation. I can then use this then on my landing page of SAM as a giveaway. So if they register, I can then take that information, say they registered or want the first time home buyer assessment guide and or frequently asked questions or whatever it is, and the date on that, whenever they register, then triggers the routine. The routine automatically sends them by email this context as a document. By doing it this way, instead of just providing it as on the landing page, you're more likely to get good email addresses and people's names because it's got to reach in that way. So you got to play the game. You got to play the lead game a little bit. What do you guys think about that? Thumbs up.
This is very nice.
Yeah.
Rebecca will love it.
I like Gamma. There's just some amazing things that you can do with it. And like I said, once you've got this created, you can do other things with this. You can add, you can make changes. Maybe you don't like the way certain pictures are set up. Maybe you want to put your own picture in there. I mean, you can click on an image. You can ask the agent to do changes to it. You know, change to a different style image or whatever you want to do. You're just letting AI build that out. I love Gamma, and this is one of the cool things that you can do with it using the information that you've built right here. You know, presentation wise, this is yucky. You know, it's the information, it's the data, and that's what we've always said is data is and the generated content is what is so important. And by saving this now, I can go then into in here, I can go in my saved generations, and maybe I can do a search on different things. So maybe I want to unlock, pick some of your older items that maybe you've already created, load that up, then take that content, copy it, paste it into Gamma, and boom, you know, it's got all that content created for you.
Now that we have a better understanding of how we can personalize things using SAM, I think you have a better understanding of how we can start to build stronger retention networks and drive leads into customers. This is truly the secret to success because what it unlocks for you is going to be incredible. So I'd like to offer you the opportunity to try SAM for yourself. All you need to do is visit sam.workflowsecrets.info and click the big sign up button. Once you sign up, you'll be able to have 14 days of free access inside the system. I'll send you emails each and every day so you can start to learn how to use the system and see that it's actually going to be the solution for you. Then once you're done, you can sign up with a monthly subscription and join our community and start diving in to moving the needle for your business like you never have before. I can't wait to see you inside.